Hi, I am so excited. Today is Autism Awareness Day. And today I have four parents slash professionals, and we're going to be talking about how children and adults with autism are dealing with the shutdown, the coronavirus. And I know right now all we hear about is shutdowns, coronavirus, and how we're dealing with it. But no one's really talked about kids and adults who have autism, how they're dealing with it. So I've brought together four women from different parts of the world, from Atlanta in the US. I have I have Dr. Falaka Taylor, who is in the US. I have Ziffy, who is in Lagos, Nigeria. I have Chika Omoriyu, who is in the UK. And I also have Sandra, who is in the UK. So I'm very excited to be doing this. So let's begin. So, I'm just going to pose this to you because there might be some people that don't really understand what autism is. So I'm going to let you take that question and answer it for the people that are listening.
Okay. Well, autism is a neurodevelopmental disorder which is characterized by deficits in social communication and interaction, basically. And the other part of it is that there are restrictive and repetitive interests and activities and behaviors. Now, you need both of this to make a diagnosis of autism.
Okay.
And it needs to have been there from early in life. Usually they say before the age of 3. And also it needs to get in the way of proper functioning in the everyday life of that person.
Okay. All right. Good. Thanks for explaining that so people understand what it is. So we have COVID, which is affecting everyone in the world, which is probably, this is unique. Like everyone's experience has the same type of experience right now, but on different levels because we're all going through it. Ziffy, so tell me tell me a little bit about your child and how she or he is dealing with COVID-19.
So she's a she, a young lady, and she's currently away from home in university.
Okay.
And
Where is she? Where is she?
She's all the way in Canada.
Okay.
And it hasn't been easy, but she's there, and we're thankful for that. So suddenly she hears about coronavirus. She has no clue what's going on. And then following on that, there's a series of emails going back and forth, school, everything. And then she has no more classes. She has to do everything online. She has to self-isolate. All of that. And it really overload for her.
Right.
And this is one of the things like for that I'm not sure I heard you mention it, is that the repetitiveness of behavior. So it's sort of like things have to happen in a particular way. Okay. So this is somebody who's thrive on routine, things happen as and when it should. And suddenly you're telling her she can't go into class, she can't go next door to talk to her friends, she can't do, there's so many don'ts and can'ts. So she has to sit back and all of that. We're not close to her, so we're having to also phone. I'm anxious, he's anxious, child is anxious, everybody's anxious.
Correct.
So it's just been tough. And then every day we speak with her, she's upset, she's crying, she doesn't understand. So everything, she just goes, "Oh, I can't have my classes because of that stupid virus, COVID, whatever. That virus is from hell. I have to go back to hell." And so we managed to navigate the part of online classes.
Okay.
So as soon as we're getting through that, she's getting another email. She has to leave. Residents may be shut down.
Oh, wow.
Or they have to be moved into another hostel. And now we've been trying to work with her and speak, daily, trying to get her to understand the implications. But she just keeps saying to us that, well, school ends on April 21st, which is really the calendar for school.
Right.
And she's not ready to leave until school ends
on April 21st.
And I'm asking, okay, so how many people are on your floor in residence right now?
Yeah.
And she said, oh, she can see all the cars leaving, people are leaving, but she's still in her room because she's in a room by herself. Okay.
Wow.
Where is your resident assistant? Is she still there? Oh, I don't know. Maybe she's gone.
Ooh.
Okay. How many people are on your floor? She has no clue, but she tells me they've shut down the lounges. They've only left the kitchen open. They've shut down the canteens. They've only left one cafeteria open, and you can only do takeaway. You can't see, so all of that, and she's not with it.
Yeah.
So last week we found out that I said, okay, count the number of people. It looks really like what you and I would readily switch our minds to, but it doesn't happen for them.
And that's why I'm having this, because it's not the same.
Mm-hmm. It just didn't happen for her. So when I talk to other parents, they're like, oh, but that's normal. And yes, you and I are neurotypical. We would switch to the next. She's not thinking beyond right now.
Yeah.
Okay? So I had to go, okay, can you step out of your room? Hold your keys and tell me how many people you see on your side of residence.
Right.
So later you have to walk out and count the number of people.
Wow.
At this point, there are only 6 people left on her side of the residence.
Wow. So let me just interrupt you for a quick second, though. So in addition to her dealing with that, I can't even imagine you as a parent, you're thousands of miles away. Trying to figure this out for her.
Wow.
What did you end up doing? What ended up happening?
So I now said to her, okay, let me just step back. And I said, okay, if we're going, before we get to the point of getting her to finally understand that she has to leave, tell me what provisions you have. So she listed all of that. And I'm like, okay, do you have enough water? How many do you drink per day? We did the sum. Okay, go get additional water. She got that. She was still thinking of taking the bus. I'm like, no, you can't go on the bus. Walk to the closest. So all that social distance is
so where is she now?
So she finally moved to her cousin. So we had another incident where after crying about not being able to step out, then she finally got it. Okay, I need to put my things in storage. So she calls up the storage facility and they had closed. They were not accepting student stuff and COVID thing. So we have another day, another full day of crying. So I'm sitting here going online and looking for where she can store her stuff because there's no way she was going to log her stuff around. And daddy is calling, trying to find people who know people in
to kind of help.
Eventually, a friend came up with somebody, so she managed to get the stuff for the taxi. So we had to book the taxi from here. And so eventually we booked the taxi, give her the address, and she finally. And the other interesting thing.
Wow. It looks like you're okay.
No, we had scheduled for her to leave on Saturday, but she needed to do her laundry on Friday. Okay, no, that Saturday morning was her laundry day. So here we were trying to get her to do her laundry on Friday night, so she would be ready. Another round of crying.
And for those listening, this might be simple tasks for you and I, but look at the hurdle. And okay, so I'm going to pose a question for Chica. So tell us a little bit about your situation, and I want you to address the issue of the whole thing about washing hands. How do you explain that to your kids?
Okay, so my own situation, I've got 3 boys on the spectrum, on varying parts of the spectrum. So at the start of the COVID-19 saga, should I say, so I kind of had already known, oh, this would be a problem with the boys. So
How old are they? How old are they?
Okay, so the first is he's going to be 20,
Mm-hmm.
the second is 17, and the last one is going to be 12.
Okay.
So we had a conversation about it, and the schools had said they might be closing down. So I had to start putting a home routine schedule in place to help them out with it. So we're kind of running a boot camp now at home. So everything is bang, bang, bang.
And you're running it basically.
So it's almost like proper homeschool at the moment. So especially for my oldest, so he's more lower functioning than his other 2 brothers. So every morning we have to go through the schedule. What time do we do this? What time do I do this? And everything has to be bang on time. So if we miss anything by 10 minutes, he starts to worry. So with the washing of hands and all the COVID things that have been coming up, luckily there's been a lot of videos and stuff. So I share it amongst them. We come together, we watch the videos, and I explain what's going on. This is how you should wash your hands. This is how long, like it says 20 seconds. So at the best you count up to 20 and then wash your hands. So they've been quite good with that. So before I get to remind them, once they come in or they're doing anything, oh mom, we've washed our hands, like 20 seconds we've done. So that's been it. So it's been more a case of getting them to watch TV with me to see what's going on, what they're expected to do, and then
Wow, that's great. Good. Yeah, thank you, Chica. So Sandra, on to you. So what's going on? Okay, Sandra, on to you. So if you're not speaking, just let me see. I can mute. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so Sandra, so tell us a little bit about your son and how this shutdown has impacted his routine.
Okay, my son is almost 20.
Okay.
And he's at college.
Oh, he's at college.
So he's at college. And he has a taxi that picks him up every day. So his speech is, very minimum. So everything is mostly explained to him through using colors, symbols, text. So come Monday now, he's not going to college. So he's wondering, why aren't I going? And I said, no college. And he's just standing there looking at me like, why no college? What's going on? Because we're not on holiday yet.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to explain to him that, there is a virus out there. He doesn't know what virus is. Even trying to explain that to somebody using text is very difficult, because I have to use like a gesture to say, you're sick, hold my tummy, or, just try and do something to make it look like there's something bad out there. So that's why you can't go into your college. And he also has carers that take him out during the day, in the evening.
Right.
And he has that routine of knowing that today this one will take me, tomorrow I'm doing this. And he's wondering, okay, I'm not going to college. Why can't I go out? Because normally we'll go to the cinema or we'll be going swimming. So it's been really difficult, because he will come and stand. He will stand by the window looking outside, wondering, when am I going to be able to do the things I enjoy doing? And why can't I go and see my friends? Because he has 1 or 2 friends that they like to go gym together and things like that. He can't go and see anyone. And so it's every day we take it slowly because sometimes he forgets that, we're kind of locked down. He wants us to dress up, be going out. And I'm saying, no, we can't. Because if you go out, you'll be sick. That's the only way I can explain it to him because
Yeah.
he doesn't know what this COVID-19 is. He doesn't know what's happening. He just knows that he's at home and
Right.
he can't get to go and do his social things that he would normally do.
Yeah.
So even trying to get him to do some of his work that the college have sent has been a bit difficult because he's not used to doing work in the house.
Right.
Everything is out. So if he's at home, why is he doing something that he does at college?
Correct.
What is going on? Why is everything at a standstill? And it's like, I'm not working. Mom is at home all the time. My siblings are at home. What's going on? Everybody is at home, you know? So it has not been easy, but we take it every day
Mm.
as it comes because they can be very unpredictable in their behavior and how their mood swings,
How they respond. Yeah.
Yes. So every day we just take it slowly and I just allow him to deal with the situation right now, how he's, able to
Yeah.
cope. So
Yeah.
routine has really been shattered. But
Yeah.
I pray that when all this is over and now he has to go back to college, he will go
Yeah.
because it will be like, well, you've kept me in. So what is going on? Why do you now want me to go? What happened? So
Yeah.
it, it's we're getting there, and I really feel for a lot of us out there because I listened to my sister talking about the washing of hands. Watching video. My one, we're still on a journey of washing hands because he's wondering why do I have to wash my hands
Mm.
so many times. I've managed to get symbols that actually shows that okay, you take
Mm.
the soap, you wash your hands. So
Yeah.
we're trying to sing happy birthday as we've been told here in the UK. We sing
Yeah.
happy birthday twice.
Yeah.
And he's looking at me funny. It's not my birthday. Why are we singing?
Yeah.
Why we wash our hands? So we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Sandra. So, Dr. Taylor, tell us how your daughter has been, transitioned to this new schedule.
It's been hard. The first day, she got up, she did all her work, she was good, but it was mostly stuff they were finishing up from, school that they had started working on. Then I noticed the next 2 days, she just seemed dazed and confused. She really couldn't get it together to do much. So on the fourth day, I was like, okay, she's gonna need some help here. So I swooped in, at Modo and all that, helped her print out some things, laid it out, this is what you have to do, blah, blah, blah. And on the weekend, we tried to catch up with some of the stuff she didn't do on the days she didn't do much work. And by the next week, she was getting depressed. She,
Oh.
yeah, she couldn't get out of bed and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And I'm
How old
like,
is How old is she?
she is 12.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had to fall back and not put as much pressure on her because she doesn't understand. And basically, what she's telling me is, Mom, I don't know how to do this without a teacher standing in front of me and teaching me and standing here so that when I have a question, I can ask, Yeah, a neurotypical kid, you'd be like, yeah, just send them an email or send them a message on Edmodo or whatever. But for her, it's not working that way. And she is in public school. We're in a good school district, so because of that, she's in public school. Also, her diagnosis was late. A diagnosis of high functioning autism came in fifth grade at age 9. So at that point, she'd never had any academic issues. So you never even the idea of switching her to a private school really didn't come up because there was no reason to. But it's just a lot now. See, there's definitely a difference between how the private schools are handling this COVID situation because kids are able to get up in the morning, get dressed, sit in front of the computer, and do these Zoom lectures. That's what the private schools are doing. And, you know, I told Jordan about that, and she said, yeah, that she would have loved that. One of her teachers has done one Zoom lecture, and he's the one that has a master's in instruction. He's the same person that knows how to, you know, how to break down her work so he doesn't give her a whole bunch of stuff at once the way they're supposed to. He's the only one that does it right.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really rough. It's really rough. Where, you know, it's not being handled well, basically. We're trying, but
Mhm.
it's rough.
Yeah. And I know the school now, I mean, I'm in Georgia with you, so I know school is
Mhm.
more or less out. We're not.
Yeah. It's all distance learning now. It's, you know, and for the rest, I told her yesterday, I'm like, you know, school is going to be out for the rest of the school year, so we really need to kind of figure out how to make the best of this. And she was like, I'm not going to see my friends for the rest of the school year. She is the most social kid on the spectrum I've ever met.
Oh,
So, you know, she's an only child, so she really doesn't have anybody to play with at home. And that really bothered her that, you know,
oh,
'cause of course we can't do play dates. That's the whole idea of being at home is, you know, social distancing. So that really bothered her.
yeah. So Ziffy, thank you so much, Dr. Taylor. That was, I mean, it's good for people because I really want people listening to understand the challenges. You know, when you're doing something, you think, oh, it's easy. Not for children on the spectrum. It's different. Ziffy, can you tell me, like, from speaking with your daughter now that she's with her cousin, how is it for her now that she's in someone's home and you know she's thinking, okay, she's supposed to be in school? Is it easier because she's with family, or how's that going?
Well, again, this is where some of the traits of the disabilities can become their strength.
Mm,
Okay, so where you have that rigidity and not being able to switch from anything until that's done is really coming into play now.
mm-hmm.
And first thing was, okay, as she got in there, I mean, I think it was Sandra who said about the washing of hands. So I had told her, before you go into the house, wipe your feet, take your clothes off, you know, the drill. And she's like, why, auntie? I just had a shower. Why do I need to bath again? I mean, because it wasn't time for her to have a night bath, you know, so why do I have to suddenly go and have a bath? But she's crossed that hurdle and she's told me, okay, she's promised to read. So that's being finally realizing, okay, I'm still in school, has set in, we've switched over to online. So I'm going to promise to go online every day and take the break that I also need to take. And you know, so it's, I guess, we have to look at both sides. When the weaknesses transfer to strength, and you just let it be rather than trying to fight too many battles. That's it.
um so for Chika, you're in the UK. What do you think would make it more helpful for this situation for your boys? What could the government do or the schools do to make it easier? Because I mean, school's going to be. I mean, I don't know if they're going to go back to school. At least I don't think they're going to go back in the UK. Oops, sorry, she's on. My fault. Sorry, you on mute. Sorry, I muted you. Okay, sorry.
So we heard, well, not for a while, probably June, September, we don't know.
Oh,
But I would say the government has been pretty good with special needs. There have been a lot of the different, what we call the councils, so like boroughs of different regions of have different programs in place. So with the boys, they've got the Zoom classrooms going.
okay.
And first thing in the morning, yeah, they've got different. So first thing in the morning, they have like a group chat with friends, like people in their class. So they still have that familiarity going on. And then after that, everybody goes on to do their personal work. And So we've got a really rigid program in place during the school hours. So that's helped them because that's familiar and they're happy with that. And then after that, they've got their free time, so they just go. I tell them read, they play the piano, and till bedtime. So just keeping it as strictly rigid as possible, because the more free time they have, the more they start to worry, like, so what do we do now? They start to, so just trying to keep it, yeah. So we've always been like that right from when they were really young. I've tried to really keep. I've always had friends when they come to visit, they're like, oh my gosh, you run a military camp. But that's the only way I've been able to get them not to keep it comfortable for them, because they need to know what's happening. So what next? So what happens today is similar to what will happen tomorrow. So we're so predictable. So if you've been with us or you stay with us, you know what's happening. So that makes it easier for them. So they've been able to cope with the shift from the classroom to home, because they still have that, they're able to connect with their friends, and they're really quite into IT. So they're using the computer. Yeah, has been quite good for them as well. They haven't had any problems with that. So, but where the problem is going to come, this is the last week of school. So, and then they go into the holidays next week. So I'm trying to come up with a similar program.
Okay. So
because that's
in the UK, so that means you're still following the regular schedule. So that is spring break for you guys? Okay.
Yeah, so tomorrow is the last day of school. So I've been trying to come up with something, a similar schedule for the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Okay, so for Chica, for you though, do you work full time?
Sorry?
Do you work full time?
No, I'm not. I actually gave up work to be
okay,
I have 3 children.
Okay. That's what I want to. That's a lot, yeah. But the school though, do they go outside of the home for school, or have you always done that in the home for them?
Sorry?
Have you always homeschooled your kids, or is it because of COVID-19?
No. They're all, the oldest is in college.
Okay.
The second one is doing his A levels, and the youngest is about to go into secondary
Okay,
school.
so really the burden is on you to do all of this.
Sorry?
Because what if you didn't know how to? I mean, that means it's all on you now to do this. It's a crackling sound. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, but it's not daunting for me, because during the summer holidays I have to have a similar program in place. I'm just working with what I'm going to do, what I usually do for the summer holidays. So that's the program I'm going to have to use now. Yeah. Hoping that they go back to school before the 6 weeks of the usual summer holidays. But see how it goes.
Yeah. Thanks.
You keep each day as it comes.
Yeah. So Sandra, for you, in terms of college for your son, what is he getting? Like, do they have online? What are the options for him?
They have well, his teacher had sent me work through my email, which I'm supposed to print and then do with him at home.
So you'll have to do it, right?
Yeah, but then, my question, which I put to him is, we can't go out. Not everybody has a printer. So then how do you do this work with them? So my son has just been doing I just allow him to do what he loves doing. I don't want to put any strain or stress on him, because already we're dealing with why is he at home. And I think you asked a question to my sister about the government, and my own experience, I feel, is that we who have young people or family members with especially autism, we're not given the same support as those who have physical disability. Because when this outbreak first happened and you try to do shopping, they said for those who work, in the medical field first to shop, then for the elderly, and then for those who have disability. I said, I'm shopping for my son who has autism, and they're like, autism, where is he? I said, well, he's not with me. You know, I can't bring him, but I've come to shop because we have someone in the house that has a disability.
Correct.
And I had to fight to get in the shop
Mm.
because I don't believe that the government is doing enough to support people like us to be able to get the same as those that they recognize as being vulnerable or needing extra help.
Right.
Because some of us, our children are on, diets that not everybody, like my son, he has almond milk and, he has coconut, and it's not everything I give him. And so with all this panic and everyone buying from the shelf, you go and you try to buy the basic things that you need for your child. It's finished because everybody else is grabbing,
Yeah.
And so it's been really hard trying to get the kind of diet that some of our children are used to because there's nothing on shelf,
Yeah.
for them. So I believe that the government, they should include more of, people like myself, yourself, with family members that have this kind of disability.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah. And even I know in the UK, so I know, like you said, they take care of the people in the medical field. And I didn't even know about the people with physical disabilities because even here, I don't even think they even talk about that in the stores.
No.
Which is kind of interesting in the US.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I went shopping and like a week ago, there was this massive queue. And they said, okay, if you work in the medical field, please step forward. If you're elderly, step forward. If you have disability, step forward. No one was stepping forward. I stepped forward and they said, well, who has the disability? I took my son's card that says, and I had a letter and he's like, well, where is he? And what kind of disability has he got? And I said, I'm not in the mood to argue. I want to shop for my son. And, he was looking at me funny. Everybody was going in, the elderly. I just pushed in.
Okay.
And this is how I feel as parents. We always have to fight for our young people that have autism because they are not recognized. They don't have a voice. And, with something like this happening, you cannot afford to put yourself at risk because, God forbid, anything happens to you. Nobody's going to be there to fight for them.
Right.
Especially because of their understanding of how things are around them. Yeah. We always have to keep ourselves safe, healthy, so that we can be there to be their voice.
Yeah. Thank you, Sandra. So, Dr. Taylor. Oops.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Taylor. So, I'd like to ask you, with regards to the school now for your child, what would you have preferred to see to help her in this transition?
The Zoom lectures, it's like night and day. That would have made a huge difference for her. If she was getting up and able to have lectures online with the teachers, rather than just sending little clips here and there and then sending them work to do. And she's like, I don't even understand what they're asking me to do,
Yeah. And so have you reached out? Have you spoken to any of the teachers, or not? No one's really responded to that.
I haven't because it's been a lot of IEPs and all kinds of stuff, and I'm tired too.
Yeah. It's a lot. And just from what Sandra said too, I get from all of you.
Yeah.
And then this happens, it throws everything off. It's like, where do you begin?
So we're really considering, other alternatives pretty much, at least when school starts back.
Right. Zippy, so for you, is your daughter Okay, so for you, is she still taking classes online, or have they shut down completely?
Yeah, I think this is the last week, if I'm not wrong. Today is the second. So this is like the last week of online, and then they're going to go into their exam mode. And one of my greatest worries of dad and I was, okay, online. She's not done anything apart from YouTube and Google online. And usually she gets certain accommodations
Of course.
like
Oh, yeah.
extra time, a
Right.
room to herself, and everything. And I'm thinking, okay, room to yourself, check. Hopefully you'll be somewhere there's no noise and nobody's going to barge in. But the extra time, so
Yeah.
this Student Disability Service, for instance, had sent an email and saying to her that they were going to figure out how they would lend that support. And so every so often we're checking in to find out how they sent you the time, what the accommodations, how much time. Because I'm thinking before she can process, read one question and process all of it, understand before she even responds, the
Wow.
time will be going. And so we now had this other battle. She's supposed to do 5 courses.
Mm.
One of them says, okay, she can opt out because, I mean, based on her current grade or, assessment and everything, it was okay. And she has another one who says, okay, respond before yesterday if you are going to opt out of that. That's a statistic. And they said she's got good grades in that, in the 80s, almost 81. And I'm thinking, okay, the more options we have to opt out,
Of course. Yeah.
and so we have another battle where I think thinking about it today, I was like, she was probably trying to communicate. Yes, she can speak now, she's vocal, she's in school, but the clarity of the communication is still missing. So when I thought about it today, I figured that what she was trying to get across to dad and I was that she can handle statistics. Why? Because the lecturer had emailed them saying they would print out. I think that they were going to get the question, have the opportunity to print it out and then fill it and send it back somewhere. So she was fairly confident in that.
In that.
And then physics had given her the option of, okay, if you don't do so well, your current grade stays, we won't add the exam. But she wasn't able to communicate that. So here we were trying to get her to say, no, 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 no exams. Everything is online. We're not sure. And I'm also aware that usually if she doesn't do well, and this is something that's been there since primary school.
Yeah.
If she doesn't do well and she doesn't have the opportunity to rub it off, a meltdown. So I was trying to get her to understand that, look, remember, I don't want you to scream or cry or anything if you do this exam online and heaven forbid you don't get good grades and you don't have the opportunity to say, okay, so all of that is just, here I am being stressed out. Daddy's, her sisters, everybody, this was like the whole family on site. And she was, temper rising. She started screaming, then the crying. Then we had to tell her, do not drop that Skype because she can do that. She's done that before. Says, okay, I'm still here. Then she turns away the video. I'm like, no, you need to be looking at, all sorts of drama. But, and that's because the communication, the words aren't there sufficiently for her to say back to us, this is what I'm thinking, I can handle it, or whatever her thoughts or emotions are. So I'm really happy we're doing this because it's we as parents were overwhelmed. There's just that much you can get in terms of support outside, and then that just those many people who understand what you're saying. I mean, it's just it's just too much.
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think, like you said, everyone is stressed out at this point, but everyone deals with it differently. And children on the spectrum, like you said, sometimes the communication part is it's hard because they know what they want to say. It's probably not coming out the way they want it to come out. And they're looking at you for answers and you can't give it to them. So I totally understand that. So let's go on to a much brighter note. So I know you guys have wonderful children. So tell me a little bit. I'm going to start with Sandra. Tell me some of the things that your kids do that just allows them to just blossom and flourish. So Sandra, you go. Oh, sorry, Sandra. I'm gonna mute you. Okay, go ahead.
My son, he loves computers.
Okay.
He computers his world. You know, he just loves it, and he likes to draw. He's a very, very good artist.
Yes.
Mostly cartoon characters. Yes, he can just he has books upon books of drawings of cartoon characters, and he likes to do a lot of puzzles, word search. Even though he writes very little and he reads very little, but he's very good at looking for words. Once he knows what he has to do, he's good at that. And we also do a bit of modeling, which we haven't done for a while, because I believe that we need to promote them. And well, he has the looks to do modeling, So, but the kind of modeling we do, I tend not to say he has autism, even though most people do know he has, because I don't want people to label him with his autism. So after we do a show, we have people come up and say, "Oh, he's very handsome, he's this," and they then realize he's not saying much to them. Then they're like, "Oh, he has autism." So for me, I want to promote them for what they're good at, not for their disability.
Right.
So
and
this is
and what is his name, by the way? What's your son's name?
Jonathan.
Jonathan. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. That's great. All right. So Chica, you have 3 boys, so I want to hear about all 3 of them.
Well, for starters, I always call, say my house is the house of fun, because it's like they're all so different. Everyone has their own flair, what they like, what they would rather do, but they're uniting. They all love the computer, just like son. So they could be there from morning till night. But also into music as well. They play. 2 of them play the piano, 1 plays the guitar, and they love to do that. And then my little one, my last one, he's the most social of the 3. He's so adorable, and we call him our mobile Google map. So he's so good with transportation. I know, like the buses and the trains, he's so fascinated by the buses. So unfortunately now with the COVID, with the confinement, that's one of the things we're struggling with.
Yeah.
Not being able to go out on the bus trips, seeing the buses, he's so buses. He knows we go to the bus stops and the buses are coming. He doesn't see the bus, but he just hears the engine and he tells me what the make of that engine. Oh, mom, that's blah, blah, blah. And that's the bus. What is the number? And it's actually that bus coming. And, like friends come over and they're like, "Oh, we're going home." And he goes, "Auntie, where are you going?" And you tell him, and he tells you the best route. Like just off the top of his head. And I said, "Oh, mom, that's a rare bus. That's an engine." He is so. And I'm sure a lot of the bus drivers, they know us now. Because sometimes some of the routes are they're changing the bus routes.
Oh.
We have to go on that bus. We have to go on that bus, because if not, he's going to have he's like, "Mom, they're stopping bus. That's one, they're changing the routes. I need to be on that last bus ride." And so then we are dashing out, say 7, 8 p.m. chasing the bus to be.
Wow.
So it's one of those And then we're going on the last, and he's like, "Oh, when we come," but just the joy on
Yes.
his face, being able to do that which he loves, is such, like, it's such a rewarding thing. So, but when I come back, after 2 hours, 3 hours on the bus, it's not. Or like chasing the bus. Oh, Mom, that's the bus. That's the last one. We need to get on that one. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, let's go. But like, just the joy on his face after we've been able to do that.
That's priceless, really.
Yeah, it's quite rewarding. Yes, yeah. So that's the, and then the oldest, he loves cartoons.
Okay.
So he's watching, like once he's done with his work, he's watching cartoons the whole day, and then he loves to play the piano as well. So.
And what are their names?
Christopher, Charles, and Callum.
Callum, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Zippy, you're up.
Okay, so her name's Nulia, even though she goes Nulia, and that's as a result of when she was having intervention much earlier in life, and people just pronounce Nulia. So we've given up trying to change that. She plays the violin. She used to swim when she was back in Nigeria.
I remember seeing those online.
Yeah, competitive swimming, but she's like, oh, I'm done. And then she's done voice as well. She just decided she was going to do voice training. I'm like, okay, fine. So, but right now, she's decided she's going to be a family physician. So, Dr. Taylor. So now we have this new thing of, okay, I'm going to do my MCAT in year 3. And then I'm going to do this. There goes the routine again and being lined up. So we're kind of taking advantage of that as a strength, okay? So when we need to remember anything in the house or anywhere, for instance, we just call her Anulia, and then you tell her, she's like, why? I say, oh, you're the family calendar. We know you won't forget, you remember. And she goes, yes, Mom, I'm smart. I have a very sharp brain. And I'm like, yes, we're all telling you, please remember. And we just found that she has this thing about dates as well, so you can just ask her when a certain day in 2050 or whatever, what day is that going to be? And she just says what it is, we just whether it's the date or the day. So we also try to tap into that, at least for planning purposes, no, so it's really about, but the other thing is that I've, both as a professional now and all that, we've also started to tell people that she's got autism. Now, there's a difference between saying I'm autistic and I've got autism.
What's the difference, please?
Some people don't mind saying I'm autistic. So it's sort of like, for me, it's sort of like I'm headachy. That's not who you are. It's something that you're living with. So it's sort of like somebody saying I'm visually impaired, I'm hearing impaired. You're not, so it's sort of changing the narrative as well. Yes, I have, but it doesn't define who I am. Okay, it's just a different ability that I have. And so now she's beginning, because initially she was like, she went on Google, oh, Mom, I don't have the autism trait. And a few of us were like, yeah, saying that alone is a sign of being having. So we're also trying to push her to advocate for herself. So yes, it's a big whatever, but we're just trying to gently push her.
How old is she, by the way?
She's going to be 19 this month. Okay. So we're pushing that gently. And initially it was like, Mom, why? But I'm like, that you have that. It's not a bad thing to have, but you just need to let people know in certain circumstances so they don't look, and that's also because people think, all this stigma, all this, like Sandra said, they're not seeing that person as a disability. So when you look at her, I'm doing this, I'm going to be a doctor, but yes, I'm living with autism. So what? You know? So it's all work, social skills, and she can cook. She loves to bake. Oh gosh,
Wow.
she for Africa. I'm like, oh my god. So now everybody leaves her to do the oven stuff while the rest of us are cooking.
Nice. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zippy. Okay, Dr. Taylor, you're next. Oops. Oh, sorry. Oops. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I'm unmuting and you're unmuting. Okay, so her name is Jordan. She's 12.
Mm-hmm.
And just like Sandra's son, she loves to draw. It's so calming for her that she's allowed to draw in school. And the teachers have noticed that she can do two things at once. She can listen to what they're saying and be drawing. So as long as she's paying attention and doing what she's supposed to do, they don't mind. Every now and again it'll get in the way and she'll have to put it down. But the other thing is the computer, also like Sandra's son. She loves to play video games. That is her world. In fact, she wants to be a graphic artist for video games. So, yeah. She also plays the cello, so she's in the orchestra. And she is said to be a good friend. Her friends say she is a very good friend. She is a social butterfly. She loves people. And, she's a sweet kid. She's a sweet kid. Now, for her diagnosis came late. I'm not sure at what age the other kids were diagnosed, but a lot of times for girls with high functioning autism, because when you look at them, they act just like the neurotypical boys their age. It doesn't really stand out that something is going on till a little bit later in life. So she didn't get her diagnosis till almost 10 years old. So we didn't have the benefit of early intervention. But we've been, doing the best we can since she got a diagnosis. So
So I just want to say thank you so much. And this was, I'm just so glad that you guys took the time to do this. And for those listening, I hope you guys got something out of this. Today is Autism Awareness Day. I hope you learned something new. And to Jonathan, Christopher, Charles, Caleb, Nulia, and Jordan, we love you guys. You guys have amazing parents and who are advocating for you. And we just love that. So I just want to say thank you guys. And if you're listening to the replay, post your questions. I'll still keep answering the questions as we go along. But thank you guys. I really, really appreciate this. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.